Hey guys, what is happening and welcome to today's video. So in today's video we are talking about debt and the contagion effect that will ripple through from China if the housing market tanks, which is looking highly likely. Then what is that going to mean for Canada? And with Canada in its place right now, household to debt GDP looks like it's peaked. So let's examine the data, guys, and see if we can see any similarities to see what we can learn going forward. Without further ado, let's do this. All right, guys, welcome back. So first chart that I'm going to put up on your screen there is this chart from the Federal Reserve. And as you can see with that chart, it goes up prior to the GFC and then comes down as it gets close to the GFC, and around the GFC is when that chart turns. So it's actually 2007 when it starts to go down, and then obviously it eventually goes negative. But you can see how household debt to GDP in America actually started to reverse before the crisis, and this was part of the deleveraging that was happening. Obviously there was so many warning signs all around that this was coming. For one was the housing bubble that had formed, and everybody at the time was just saying, don't worry about it, it'll never burst, housing never goes down. And we hear all these notions all the time here in Canada. We hear people saying, yeah, the housing prices, they just don't go down. Many people have predicted it and it just hasn't happened. They've been predicting it for the past 18 years. The thing is, that's not a valid argument to make. Just because people have predicted stuff does not mean it's not going to happen. Just because they haven't been right, it means that it's not going to happen. It's totally false. And I want to explain something to you that I think is really important, which is called the gambler's fallacy. And basically what this means, guys, is if I go into a casino and I start pulling the slot lever on the slot machine, the lever on the slot machine, if I start pulling that lever, it basically means, let's say I'm losing, I've lost 20 times. So now I'm thinking, you know what, I should bet bigger because I've lost so many times. That obviously means a win is coming. And this same sort of gambler's fallacy comes into play when people are talking about stocks or real estate, whatever it is. They have this false sense of security that because, you know, stocks always generally go up, or indexes always generally go up on a long, zoomed out view, they believe that they can never go down. They believe that prices just won't simply go down. So having looked at that chart now, I'm going to show you another chart, which is a similar chart from Trading Economics, but it's for Canada, not the US, and it's showing household debt to GDP as a representation of GDP. And as you can see, it seems like we peaked in household debt around January, February of this year. Now that is quite interesting, isn't it? Because really, if you were to use the 2008 as an example, then you could then predict maybe 1 to 2 years out, you're going to start to see a big debt deleveraging and asset prices collapsing. Now, this is just one of many things. If you haven't seen my video about the banking crisis and how Canada has a high probability of having a banking crisis because of things like household debt to GDP being so high, then you need to go back and watch that video, because that video is very interesting, contains a link to another video that is also equally as interesting for people to get their head around. You see, the thing is, guys, there is real inflation right now. We're having the government tell us that everything is okay. As I said in my video just the other day, and I showed you how many people are making employment insurance claims, and it is sky high. So we're being lied to, and there's a specific reason for that. It's because the government and the central planners want to be branded the heroes, that we recovered the economy from the cerveza sickness, and now is time to raise interest rates because inflation's getting too high. When in actual fact, the truth is the economy has nowhere near recovered. It's been pumped up on a life support for the past couple of years. And during that time, people have been rushing out, getting into lots of debt, and not really thinking about what's happening in the economy with inflation and everything that's just happened, not really taking their time. Everybody's been getting FOMO and saying, oh God, housing prices are going up, I need to buy a house. And this FOMO has spread like wildfire because of the toilet paper crisis. The thing is, guys, it's going to get bad before it gets good. And I don't think people realize that. I think a lot of people right now are drinking the Kool-Aid that everything's okay and everything's fine. Well, look around. There's labor shortages. There's mass number of people on employment insurance. You've got GDP that's slowing down. All indicators point towards a recession at this point. Like, there is really nothing that is telling us that we're not heading into a recession. And it was highly likely before the cerveza sickness. I just want to say this, and I've said this so many times. It was highly likely before the cerveza sickness that we were heading into a recession anyway. And then the cerveza sickness happened, and they printed all this money, and they put the economy on life support, essentially, which caused rapid inflation, 30-year high inflation. And that just keeps going and going and going and getting worse. And they keep saying it's transitory. We know that's not true. We know the Federal Reserve, the Bank of Canada, the Bank of England are starting to panic. They don't really know what's driving inflation, and they're sat there not doing anything about it. So once again, we're in the same situation that they were in the late 70s, where they had to jack interest rates up to 21%. Now, I don't think interest rates are going to go to 21%. I think even if they went to 5%, the entire economy would collapse. But the thing is, there is no easy way out of it. I don't see how people aren't seeing this. There's no easy way out of this. It's either deflation and a recession, or deflation and a recession. And it doesn't matter if it's interest rates, it doesn't matter if it's rapidly high inflation. They will both lead to the same deflationary collapse, which will lead to a huge deleveraging in countries with high debt like Canada. And it's not just households. Corporate debt is sky high right now. And that is not good, because that means a lot of businesses will go under too, which will further contribute to unemployment. And it's just not gonna look good, guys. The thing is, there is just no easy way out of this. You cannot just print loads of money and get your way out of a recession or depression. They've just made it worse, more painful for a lot of people, because a lot of people have been misled. They have been misled into a trap. They've gone and bought multiple homes. They've over leveraged and overextended themselves and gorged on debt. And those people are going to be punished, even though to a certain extent it wasn't their fault. They were completely misled and manipulated by the government and the media. So anyway, guys, I hope this video was helpful and shared some insight. But yeah, we just need to prepare now, because I believe that things are about to get a lot worse before they get better. So anyway, guys, if you haven't already, sign up to my free newsletter, traderls2021@gmail.com. Just email me there. You can smash that like button if you enjoyed this video. If you didn't enjoy this video and you love big government, hit that dislike button, just so we know how many people like that are out there. And anyway, guys, without further ado, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.